Joining us now, the host of MSNBC's original 5-part series, What's Eating America, award-winning TV personality and chef Andrew Zimmern. Andrew, thanks for coming on. Where do we stand right now in terms of the food supply? I feel like this is going to be the next area of suffering for America, as we're already there with so many Americans needing these food pantries. But in terms of the food supply and availability of food products, where are we headed?
Well, there's so many different sides to this story, Mika, and it keeps getting crazier and crazier, in my opinion, because all of this was so easily predictable. There is ineptitude and a failure of leadership from the ag, from the USDA, from Washington, and from the White House. There is a massive failure of leadership here. There is a corruption issue. There is a worker abuse issue. And quite frankly, all of this was predictable and solvable. There is technically enough food in America. The crops rotting in the fields that we've seen, that graphic that people are looking at now from the New York Times about the milk and the eggs and the plowed vegetables, was anticipated. It's simply, and I know this seems very cavalier, is a matter of rerouting the distribution away from where that food was going, restaurants, schools, and getting it to food pantries like you just saw, where you saw pallets of canned goods, but not a lot of fresh vegetables and refrigerated goods. It's a massive shifting that has to do with trucking and where the food actually gets. This is, people are now shopping at grocery stores and using delivery systems and food pantries and community resource kitchens, and we're just not getting the food to them. And then on the flip side, you have the food factory coronavirus hotspot issue that is a hotbed of abuse, and one that, frankly, with the president voiding the CDC requirements and making them recommendations while at the same time forcing workers to work side by side under adverse conditions, in fact, conditions that will increase transmission of the virus, is going to cause an even greater problem. What it all comes down to is that it's, in a sense, less about the food, more about protecting the people, or in the case of distribution, managing the people correctly. A complete failure of leadership.
Hey, Andrew, it's Willie Geist. Good to see you this morning. The numbers are staggering. If you look at it, 3.7 million gallons of milk being dumped every day by our dairy farmers, 250,000 eggs being smashed by farmers just because they have excess. They don't know where to send them. They don't have a place to send them. So we are where we are. How do we change this right now? How do we reroute all that food, all that perishable food that, as we just saw in the piece, would be so valuable in food pantries across the country and is sitting rotting in our farms?
It's, for someone who's worked in the food scarcity and food security environment for 20 years, I have to tell you, it's just absolutely heartbreaking to see pictures of those folks on the food line at that pantry in New York, and at the same time, pictures of all this food standing there going unused. It is something that the USDA and the Department of Ag can begin to mandate. I mean, remember, we have a Defense Production Act. We have trucks. We have drivers. We can do contactless pickup and drop off. It is simply a matter of the Ag Department getting their act together and prioritizing that pickup. Now, I do have to say, cows give milk every day. Chickens lay eggs every day. These are those foods will in a sense be there tomorrow. Vegetables obviously are on a cycle now as the weather is warming, are growing in regions creeping north. So people shouldn't be in panic mode yet or rushing to their grocer and trying to buy every perishable item that they can. The emphasis should be on making sure that Washington is connecting these farms and fields to the places where the people are actually picking up food, like food banks and community resource kitchens and grocery stores. This is all the food you're seeing going to waste is the food that would have been going to largest customers, schools and restaurants and other big places that have been shut down, big cafeterias at corporations, things like that, the big buyers, the fast food chains.
All right, Andrew Zimmern, thank you so much for coming on. We hope to see you again soon.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.